Midnight Tempo, Aklo, Foxy, Grandpa, arguably the two best doubles teams in the entire East Coast that are really getting out there and grinding on a regular basis. Some updates from losers, by the way. I really was hoping that we'd be able to see this, and we will actually be seeing an Ohio team kill for top 8. So at the same
Oh.
time, Ohio is guaranteed top 8, but we're seeing Boyd Dreffen. I don't know if it's next. At some point, chat, we're seeing Boyd Dreffen versus Polish and Free Palestine.
Ooh.
Like 3 of these players from Ohio, Polish, of course, hailing from Pennsylvania and the PGH scene. But 2 of the best teams, if not the very 2 best teams, static teams in our neck of the Midwest. That's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very cool.
Game 1 on Stadium, and we're getting right into it. So Ohio definitely making top 8, but at what cost? Gonna have to be a team kill here for sure. And Ice Climbers, I was discussing a bit about Ices and teams earlier. It is significantly worse when the other team contains a Peach for obvious reasons. So Dreffen and Boyd got their work cut out for him here.
Yeah, and furthermore, I do believe that wobbling is banned. So even in 2v1 situations, they're not even going to be able to get that value. And I think that wobbling in doubles is a little bit underrated. I think it can be hugely important to close out games when you're in those 2v1 situations. So even that Ices have, they're not going to be able to pull that out. And I see this as being very tough for Dreffen and Boyd.
It definitely is because, again, just the other team having the Peach is automatically such a game changer for, as Ice Climbers already a little bit nerfed in doubles compared to singles, and then they have their worst matchup to deal with on the other side. It's not a great look for Ices. Very, very tough. They have to be extremely careful the entire time, basically, and again, Nana is just going to be all over the place. Okay, see what this double edge guard looks like. Oh, man, almost a double flap there.
They don't get a kill, but they get a lot of really good damage and maintain safe positioning. And that's what it's all about. Oh, okay. Boyd is going to be able to make it back with that air dodge. And Millie or Free Palestine couldn't quite get the kill there.
Ooh. And, okay. Yeah, that was a good decision there to continue that edge guard because I think Sheik would have barely gotten on stage, so...
Good Blizzard from Boyd a moment ago to mix the situation up and earn Dreffen the right to make it back to the stage. Interesting team hit there from Green Team that looked like an accident. And Dreffen, really good job waiting for Free Palestine to commit to try to hit Boyd, sending him off stage. Polish going for the dash attack, hitting a lot of players. And yeah, Millie not able to make it back there. This is kind of close.
Yeah, Free Palestine probably could have survived. Looked like just a little bit of a flubbed input there, but Dreffen goes down as well, and so does Boyd. So huge lead now for Green Team. Again, with the character advantage already being so strong in Green Team's favor, it's going to be tough going down the first game and losing the counter pick advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, normally Dreffen and Boyd are just such good doubles players, but at the same time, you're up against Free Palestine and Polish, and like I think just in terms of raw doubles skill, I think they're probably about dead even. So when you have the character advantage like that, it's going to be really tough to overcome that.
For sure. And yeah, this is looking like a matter of time till Green Team takes game 1.
Yeah, and this should be relatively easy. Okay, the cross-up goes all the way in. And Polish knows if he misses, he's got the flow cancel aerial. There's no lag. You can get the grab.
Right.
Hold on a sec.
I mean, normally that would be kind of scary, but it's still a Sopo at like 160 damage. I think you're fine. You can afford 1 SD in that scenario. But yeah, I mean, another issue with Ices and teams is if you are in a 1v2, you're probably Sopo.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not a good spot to be at. It's already hard enough to do it with Fox. You know what I mean? You don't want to be basically a low tier, a bottom tier almost character in Sopo without Nana. Like, that's not a good spot to be.
Yeah, I don't think that Sopo is very capable whatsoever in 2v1 situations. Even 1v1 situations. I mean, against Sheik, you have the chain grab, but yeah, blue team with a lot of work cut out for them. We're going to see what they can do here on Yoshi's, but I really don't even know what kind of advice you give them to try to pull this back. It looks like Green Team is going to be in a really favorable position throughout the rest of this set.
I mean, it's honestly very difficult to have any good advice to give Blue Team here. It's a lot of it comes down to, can Boyd somehow stay alive? And you know, with Dreffen going down early, and now there goes Boyd too. It's not a great spot to be in, because as I said about Ice Climbers previously, it depends so much on your Sopo when it comes to Ice Climbers and teams, right? Because they're just constantly going to be separated. Nana is so easy to kill in doubles, and it really feels like the vast majority, like 90% of the match, you're just Sopo. So it's just a tough spot to be. Sopo, obviously not a good character. You can make it work. The way Chu would usually do it and do well in doubles is by playing extremely defensive. Chu would be the stock tank, right? And so a lot of light shielding, a lot of waiting for the opponent. Just very few. The only time Chu would put out moves is when he was certain that he had an opening, right? So it's very tough to play like that, though. It takes a lot of discipline, and when you're an Ice Climbers player used to having Nana there with you, it can be very difficult.
And at the same time, Chillin, in that situation, he's teaming with you, you're Fox, and I feel like Fox is able to mitigate Sopo's weaknesses considerably better than Sheik. You're a lot faster, you can get in there and save him better. You have Shine to kind of get in the way of your opponent's team combos. On the other hand, here we have Dreffen playing Sheik, and Dreffen is a very tricky player. I'm sure you've played against him in singles before, but the thing is, he's playing against people that know his style so well. So a lot of like his quirky, neutral, like rock paper scissors games that he's going to be throwing out. Free Palestine and Polish have seen those hundreds and hundreds of times at this point, so I think they're really just able to perfectly counter mostly everything that the blue team is throwing at them. And again, we do see here the green team with a sizable lead going into the stretch here. And yeah, Dreffen taking a ton of damage, getting batted around. Boyd getting some stuff started with the grab, but both members of the blue team down to their last stock. And as we say it, Dreffen's gone. A lot of work ahead of Boyd. He does have Nana for the time being.
Yeah, but 4 stocks on the other team it pretty much doesn't even matter at that point if you're Sopo or Nana. It's not going to be a good look either way.
Yeah, I just feel like at a certain level, like certain team compositions are limited, and when you fight players that are capable of exploiting that, it's rough. It's really rough.
Yeah, I mean at a certain point it really just comes down to you have to outplay your opponent so much, and even more so than bad matchups in singles. Like a lot of the bad matchups in doubles are amplified just because of the fact that it's so much more difficult to completely avoid 2 people as opposed to 1 person, right? Like it's no matter how good you are at playing defensive and avoiding the hit, you're going to get hit eventually in doubles, which isn't necessarily the case in singles. You can really